We're privileged here in America to be able to vote. Many years ago, I had a lot of friends that came from Europe, Eastern Europe, particularly where they didn't have a right to vote, or if they did vote, it was forced and the votes were meaningless.
When the war broke out in 1941, we were in Kharkov. My mother was alone with 3 babies, and my father was taken to the Gulag because he shechted chicken or he got a boy to learn something, and that was counter-revolutionary.
We ended up in the P camps in Germany. We stayed in the barracks that the American soldiers used to use. We didn't have a house there or an apartment. Till 14 years old, I didn't have an apartment. We didn't have an apartment. We always lived in one room, the whole family in one room.
Coming to America was like, you can't imagine. You felt a different air.
Everybody wanted to go to the United States, but they had a quota. They didn't let in a lot of people, not like now.
My father came in 1928 to America. By my father, my mother, was the most important thing was voting.
This is the first card that I registered to vote 64 years ago.
I remember going to get my citizenship and getting my card. I still have my card, 1961, I think.
It was a big deal because the whole time we were stateless. In all the places where we never were there a long time. We kept moving all the time. This was the first time that, I could apply, and I was very excited when I became a citizen.
When I was a kid, President Roosevelt drove down Pitkin Avenue in a big convertible right after the war. My father and all the Jews getting out of shul on Shabbos, and they all ran down to Pitkin Avenue. The street was packed with Eden, was Streimlich, and came to see the President of the United States driving down the street on Pitkin Avenue.
Crowds at Ebbets Baseball Field, Brooklyn, greet President Roosevelt starting his tour of New York City. Here on
Remember, my father put me on his shoulders and that I should see the President. I'm saying the President of America, a chance to say the President of America.
It's a beautiful neighborhood. I used to go, I wasn't afraid to walk. We used to go from St. Mark's, the Rebbe to Fabrengen with our little kids, me and my sister, and at night we weren't afraid to walk.
You could sleep outside, you could leave things outside, you could have your doors open. They were about, I would say, 90 to 95% Crown Heights was Jewish.
My husband had a friend, Shmuel Schrage, and Mendel Shem Tov. They were very active with Mayor Beam. They arranged rallies for him. They encouraged the people to go out and vote.
I remember clearly by Fabrengen, the Rebbe said you should go out to vote by the elections.
I remember that time when my husband was working for the Rebbe, and it's in the 60s. And the Rebbe said, "Medav Gein Voten." And I remember my husband got him the address where to vote, and the Rebbe went to vote.
Attention all residents of Crown Heights, today is election day. Today
I voted every time there was an election. I never missed an election in my life.
Vote, don't be a fool. If we just sit by and say, well, my vote ain't important. That's not true, your vote is important.
It's the only voice that the populace has. It's the only recourse that we have.
We're blessed to be here and be citizens and have this right.
I think it's a privilege. When you are in Europe, we had no rights, we were voiceless. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
You have to go to vote. Important. It's your privilege, it's your honor, it's your mensch, and you're American, and you're a Jew, and a Jew has to vote.
We live in a very difficult world, and we have to do everything to help to make the world better.